I'm Dr. Akima Thomas, the Clinical Director of Women and Girls Network, which is a resource working in London with survivors of all forms of violence against women and girls. Yes, I'm absolutely 100% backing the non-licensing of strip clubs in Bristol. It's really important that we send out a clear message about, one, the harm, the potential harm. We talk about safety, but safety is about disrupting elements of harm. So we know that women are not going to feel safe on the streets in those environments. We know that it sends a clear message of entitlement, of a lack of sanctions, of the subjugation of women. And that's really important about the message that we give to the younger generation and also to men and boys, in terms of it's not okay to treat women as less than. It's not okay to exploit. There's a social justice agenda here. So if we understand that absolutely the deaths that that's happened this year, of all of those women who have been killed by their partners, of all of those unnecessary deaths, of police taking pictures of Bieber and her sister Nicole, if we're outraged by what happened to Sarah and Sabina on the streets, then we need to make sure that we make those streets as safe as possible. There's something about the continuum of violence. So if you consent to one part of it, you consent to it all. And I work with the other side. I work with survivors of the sex industry who talk about their pain. They talk about the lack of boundaries, the lack of safety, the lack of concern, the dehumanising of those experiences. They would talk about the intrusion, the glare, the staring, the objectification, where they felt less than human. That will take its toll. That will create injuries that bruise the soul. That's really powerful for survivors to be able to recover and to come back from that. I'm not pathologising what happens. I'm just saying that absolutely, if we give consent to one form of violence, then we give consent to it all. And I think it's really important that we don't criminalise, those who are being sexually exploited. So I'm really clear that that's not what this is about. It's sending out another very powerful message about our lack of tolerance for violence against women and girls. There's something about a moral imperative that's calling us to say no. We say no in many different ways. I hope that it gets heard. I hope that there's going to be a zero tolerance. And let's not just hope, let's plan, let's have an intention, a dedication, a commitment to stop violence against women and girls in all of its manifestations, in all of its forms.